Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Growth Winners podcast. I am your host, Dennis Hennigan, and if you're watching on YouTube, check this out. I'm going to give you a tour of my office. I am not coming from my kids' playroom. I'm filming this and recording this in my office, so it's pretty exciting. I'll show you that in just a second. If you're not watching that on YouTube, you're just listening to the audio, then you're missing out. But anyways, I'm going to make today a pretty quick one. It's all about timing. It's all about purpose. All about really quick. But first, before we go into that, we're going to hit the mantra, which repeat after me. If you're new here, it's first time listening to the podcast, what we do is we repeat 3 things, and that helps us create better habits consistently versus just listening and making it sound cool. So without further ado, here we go. Repeat after me. I am confident. I am valuable. I am a growth winner. All right, so real quick for the guys and gals watching on YouTube, I'm going to give you a quick tour of my office. I am a Texans fan, so you can see the nice J.J. Watt signed autograph picture up there. Then I've got a pretty cool iceberg picture behind me. And I can't go too far away from the microphone, but I will step back for just a second, show you my book collection. And really, it's a small office, so there's not too much else to see. But if I pull away from the mic, you won't be able to hear me. So real quick. And then the best part, honestly, is the double monitor setup, my computer setup that's in front of me. It's pretty cool. Pretty proud of it in case you haven't been able to tell. But anyways, today's episode is all about, I titled it, Someday Really Means Never, okay? And simply because our subconscious minds are the trigger that tell us, that someday is a comfort zone for us. It comforts our fear that if we say someday, it just allows us and buys us more time. But the truth is, you and I both know that someday really does mean never, right? I mean, hopefully you would agree with that. And you start to get into these habits and patterns of someday when I have enough X, I'll do Y. Someday when I get Y or X, I can get Y. And it's this X and Y factor that you're putting it off to a later date. That's what the someday is you're just allowing yourself and buying yourself more time. And then ultimately time goes by and you end up not getting what you want. So for me, it's like I can relate this to having kids. A lot of people say, someday when I get the job, someday when I have the kids, I'll have kids someday, I'll do this, I'll do that. And you just put all these different time and deadlines on them. For me, I had kids at 21 years old, okay? It's something that, most people would think you're crazy. It wasn't planned, but it's something that happened, right? And some people sit there and say they're going to have kids someday, so they get married first, and they feel like they have to do it the right way, the way that their parents did it, the way that their parents told them was supposed to be done. But the truth is there is no right way, right? We're humans, we're creatures, we make mistakes, we make good decisions, bad decisions, and we get the consequences, but the goal is to keep moving forward. That way, when someday you keep talking about someday, that someday actually happens. The only way to do that is to make it happen, right? Hopefully you could agree with that. So I know a lot of people say, I'll have kids someday, or one day when I have, and fill in the blank, right? But at 21 years old, we didn't plan on having kids, and it just happened. So instead of saying someday, it happened right now, and now you deal with what you have and handle your situations, okay? So you just have to really reflect back on what are the things that you want, what are the things that you enjoy, and what are the things that make you happy and you love, and that you're putting a someday on top of it, and that's the only thing, not the only thing, but that's the most important thing that's causing you not to have what you want. Why can't you choose to be happy right now? Why can't you have the things that you want right now? Why do you have to wait for the next house? Why do you have to wait until you get a raise or a promotion? Why do you have to wait until you have kids? Why do you have to wait until you pay off the car to get the XYZ? Okay, start doing those things that you love right now, because the truth is half the things that you want probably don't even take money. You're thinking that it's a lack of resources. Well, I don't have it because. Think about all the reasons you don't have the things that you want, and how many are actually roadblocks? How many are actually unattainable that you can't, actually do and put into your life right now, okay? And for me, a couple of mine is to start yoga, okay? Pray at night, buy something that I want, and start this podcast and second business. Those are the things that I want that I keep saying someday. Someday I'm going to do this yoga thing. We're close to Baltimore, about an hour away from Baltimore, Maryland, and I saw online that they had this meetup thing. It was about yoga, okay? I've always said, probably 3 months now, someday I'll do that. One day, eventually one of these Saturdays, I'm going to go down there and join them. And guess what? I haven't been to a single one because I keep saying someday. And then I've never been a religious person. I've always been spiritual, but not religious. But I've started to want to build a better relationship with God. So I've made a goal, not a goal, but I've made just, thing that I want to start praying at night. I've only prayed twice in the past 2 to 3 weeks that I've started saying that I wanted to do this. Okay, because I keep saying someday, I keep saying I have to do that. Oh yeah, I remember I'm supposed to this. So in order to stay consistent, you've got to get on top of it and stop allowing yourself that excuse for someday. For me, sometimes it happens subconsciously that we don't even realize we're doing it. For me in business, I always talk about, our warehouse is right out here, and I sit there and think, one day we're going to have to move this over there, or one day we're going to have to, one day, we're going to have to move the stuff over here to make some more space for this. One day we're going to end up doing this. One day we'll have 5 more trucks and 6 more forklifts. One day, someday. But the truth is, someday means never. And hopefully you can understand that. Hopefully that is valuable, and hopefully that you can relate to that in your life, which leads me right into the episode challenge. If you're new here, every episode I feature a challenge. That way you can take actionable steps to develop the mindset and habits. So the challenge today is to tag me on Instagram, because I want to know what it is, okay? I want to know something that you've been guilty of for saying someday for. What is it that you're holding back that you haven't been able to pull the trigger on because you keep saying someday? What is that? Tag me on Instagram at Dennis Hennigan, and I would absolutely love to hear your guys' feedback on this and join in the activity that we're doing here. Take the challenge, tag me. I'd love to connect with you guys. So that's it. Super simple. If you're watching this on YouTube, listening to it on the podcast audio version, anywhere that you're listening to, follow, subscribe, share, like, do all the engagement stuff, please. I really appreciate that, because the truth is I really want you to dive into being a growth winner and experience what it's all about. So again, without further ado, the mantra to close this out. I told you it'd be a quick episode today. I am confident, I am valuable, and I am a growth winner. Thanks, everybody, for listening and watching. Have a great day.